Welcome to the Big Black Clock Podcast. It's big, it's black, it's about watches.
Well, hello, welcome everyone, and welcome to our very special guest, Monsieur Francois Moreau, CEO and founder of Reservoir Watches. Bonjour, Francois. Hello.
Bonjour. Hello, everyone.
So we're so happy to be able to meet with you today. We recently had the chance to link up with you at Watch Time, which was wonderful. Got a chance to see a lot of the timepieces you have there. So we have a lot we wanted to kind of talk about. But before we go, and we kind of have a customary tradition, we'd like to know what you're wearing today on your wrist. Do you want to share with us, Francois?
Yes, I will. Firstly, I have the chance, like all of us, to have two arms and two wrists. Therefore, I always wear two watches. And I would love to be Shiva, you know, the Indian god.
All right, yeah.
Arms, to have many arms. But only two, because I tried one day to wear on my feet, but it's not convenient, so I stopped.
You have to get a very, very long strap also to tie it around your foot.
To change the time, yeah.
So I'm wearing. I'm used to read time on my right arm for I don't know why, historical reason. So on my right, I'm wearing a canister silver. It's a titanium 41 millimeter watch with our new caliber RSV 2400, and it's a dress watch. You know, it comes with a ostrich straps, right? And on the other, I have the rock and roll Stonermaster Black Thunder, which I don't think you've seen it in New York.
We did. You gave us a sneak peek.
Sneak peek, exactly. So that's the rock concert version of our Stonermaster, which is this amplifier inspired 7 hands B retrograde chronograph. So I'm wearing today. I'm on the rock side on my left and on the dress side on my right.
And a quick question: are they set to the same time, or do you use like one as a GMT, which would be another time zone, maybe?
Very good question, Kevin. Actually, no, what I do is I have one watch that is telling me the time, and the other one who is helping me to make demonstration. Because of the retrograde, you know, I all the day, I spend my day showing the watch how it works. So therefore, I make one jump, two jump, three jumps, and then the watch is not on time. And because I'm talking, I don't set the time again. So one is for demo, one is for my own time.
Amazing. So that's wonderful. So how about we just dive right in? Dimitri, do you want to kick us off here?
Yep. So Reservoir, a company that designed in Paris and made in France. Company itself is relatively young. We found that you had started the idea about 7 years ago. Also, we've read that you come from a banking industry. So we wanted for you to tell us, how did you come to create timepieces?
Okay, that's a great question. I try to keep it short because it's not a long story, but a passionate story. Firstly, Dimitri, just one small comment. We are based in Paris. We are a French company, but we are doing Swiss-made watches. Yeah. And actually, I spend more time probably in Switzerland than in France. We have our workshop there. All the developments are there. The technical design is made there. So it's really a really big country kind of brand, and we really love. The know-how that we have with our workshop in Switzerland is just impressive. French watchmakers are not bad, but in terms of complication, the know-how is really in Switzerland. So the story, to make it short, so I spent all my career before doing watchmaking in banking. I was a banker in private banking and retail banking for HSBC. This was at the time it was the largest banking corporation on this planet, and I was expat, and I was working based in France, and I was an expat in Asia, in many countries. In Japan, Hong Kong, Singapore, and so forth. I had great time with them. I would not have spent 24 years, in a boring environment anyway. But then at the end of my time with them, I realized two things. One, banking became boring for a lot of reasons that it's not of interest here. And two, I was keen to start my own business. I was, I'm kind of an entrepreneur. I've done a lot of big projects for the bank, like creating a retail bank from scratch in Japan. So I opened branches, create a bank, hire people and clients. And I'm a watch guy. I'm a watch addict. You know, I love watches. And one day I just said the time is come. The time has come for me to do what I want. It looks a bit bold, you know, to start from scratch, but I found a concept which merged two of my passions, so watches and measuring instruments. So in short, cockpit, dashboard. I'm totally addicted with that since I'm a boy. Don't ask me why, but you know, I always like to sit on go to a P-51 Mustang. You know, I sit on the pilot seat and I just dream. You know, and I watch all these instruments and I'm fascinated since I'm again a very little kid. And one day I merged these two universe by doing a watch that works exactly like what you find in this cockpit and dashboard, which is one hand moving from a 0 position to a max position. And that was it. You know, I had my idea, I had the vision. I knew what kind of price I would like to offer it. I knew how I would like to grow the brand, what the stories are behind. Everything was clear. And then I started to talk to my friends and my close and relative, and they all told me your project is great. We'll help you. We'll fund you. And it started like that exactly. So and then stars got aligned. Started to meet my partners working with me in the company. Starting to partner with our motorist in La Chaux-de-Fonds and find great suppliers here, great medias there, and it started. So. As easy as that. It looks easy. A lot of work, of course. It's not that easy, but it's when you have the vision to create a brand from scratch. You say you must be crazy, right? I mean, yes, I think I'm a little bit crazy to be fair, a little bit. But if you have the vision, it's what seems impossible become possible. It's you just see it. You just want to go for it, and people because you see it, people see it with you, and everything goes smoothly. Again, a lot of work, a lot of roadblocks. People will tell you will not make it. You're not coming from this industry, and but it's clear. You know what you want, and you just do it.
And one of our questions there was about the fascination you have with these measuring instruments. So was there, and I see in the website that you have the offering around automotive instruments, aviation, and even marine ones. Was there one in particular of those categories that was the one that fascinated you most? Did you have a preference or had a preference when you started this at Reservoir brand?
Well, it's easier to go and spend some time to watch the dashboard of BMW 320 than to a Spitfire, to be honest. But no, I am fascinated with all these instruments, and I recall the first day I started to sketch the first watches. Within 30 minutes, I drew 2 cars, 1 plane, 1 submarine, and 1 amplifier.
Wow.
In the same creative draw. It just draw like that. And so it was not just 1 car or 1 thing. It was really this universe of measuring instrument with 1 hand and having all these heroes in mind. This captain of submarine that that lived some extraordinary and dangerous things. Or this guy who broke the first time the sound of the wall of sound, Chuck Yeager, which is to me one of my favorite hero. So that's really what's inspired me. So it's not just car; it's really, and you would be amazed by some of the novelties we will release, coming from Apollo capsules, or it could be motorbikes, could be even a steam pressure gauge in a factory in 18th century. It's fascinating.
Great. So now that we know the inspiration of the retrograde, say our hand, or the retrograde kind of dial of which inspired your the Reservoir brand, and we see the retrograde hour and the jump hour and the retrograde minute on all your watches, and now even a retrograde second in your new chronograph Sonomaster. Do you have any other movements that intrigue you that or is it really going to be a niche? Or maybe we shouldn't ask that question. I just wondering.
Well, you can ask. Maybe I cannot respond. And to be fair, I cannot respond. We have a third caliber in development, okay. Which is still in the world of measuring instrument, but a different way of read time. What is certain is we are we are passionate about these instruments, and therefore we are not interested. We are not looking for doing a 3-hands watch. It's not what. I mean, we love watches, of course, but it's really about reading time in a different way. So the third caliber, objectively spectacular in the way we can read time. But you will be very frustrated because that's the only thing I will tell about this one. It's
Fair enough.
Next year. But even with our 2 calibers today, we have a potential of creativity, which is unlimited. We have 10 collection being already prototyped. We have a 20 project ongoing. I'm not talking collabs. I'm just talking new collections. Like if I take the motorbike worlds. We have designed 4 motorbikes already and 4 different products, a bit like the GT Tour, supercharged Longbridge, different, atmosphere, era, style, and they are still motorbikes. So you can imagine it's almost infinite. Same with the Sonomaster, the 7-hand B retrograde chronograph. We have designed a motorsport version. We have designed the Airfight chronograph. The Airfight chronograph that if you come to Geneva, gentlemen, and I hope to see you there, you will likely see a chronograph pilot watch with the 7 hands, and it's a very different, same caliber than the Sonomaster, but a very different product.
And maybe before we jump into those movements, I just want to pay a compliment, Francois. I think what you do so well is based on the different inspirations. I think the designs are very thoughtful, because when you look at the Sonomaster and you see what it's trying to emulate, or you look at the Hydrosphere and what it emulates, sure, you're looking at the similarity in terms of the complication and what you were trying to have as the main theme of it and what inspired you, but the designs are very thoughtful, and I think they're really well done. And even you have one that's very military inspired as well, that really does take on, it really gives you that impression of that watch. So they're all they have their similar base, but they're all very well designed, I would have to say. It's quite well done. So, congrats on that.
Thank you so much. You will make me blushing. So, thank you so much. Actually, we have not that much credit, because what we do, we start from, let's take you mentioning the military watch, the Battlefield. Battlefield, what we do is we start from this. We take a Willis Jeep, and we take a close look to all the details. So this is the small one, but we will spend some time with the real one. We'll spend some time on the dashboard. We'll spend some time on the painting, the marking, all the forms, the shapes that we find on this iconic car. And once we have that, we start designing. The Hydrosphere you mentioned, I'm a diver since I'm 16. So I've been diving with many scuba diving manometers. So I know a lot of this design. Again, I'm sensitive to this instrument. So I memorize all this design. And when you start designing your diving watch inspired by scuba diving instrument, it's natural. You have the red between 0 and 10, you have the blue and the green. It's fall into places in a very natural way. And if you start putting more attention, like the Longbridge is full of micro details that come from this meter, it's because we pay attention initially about the subject that we really love. And then we convert it. And these little dials that you can find on this dashboard, for us, this cannot be a light with a battery and so forth, because we do mechanics, of course, watches. But so it will be 2 precious stones that will just remind, from a design standpoint, this dial. And the closest we are to the meter, the best we've done our job. That's really our philosophy.
Maybe to talk about the 124-piece patented module, I wanted to ask you, what was the process of coming up with something like that now is probably setting a standard among other watch brands?
Well, thanks, Dimitri. We started again from the spirit of the design. So the design is, what we want is a watch that will have one retrograde. So if I convert a meter into watchmaking, that means we need to have a retrograde minutes on a 240 degree. We need to have a jumping hour that will look like the mileage meter or counter. And we want, of course, to have this very cool power reserve that looks like a fuel gauge. So this was the prerequisite. We need these 3 complications. So what I've done, I'm not a watchmaker. I'm getting better now. You know, I spend hours with our watchmasters in Switzerland. So now I understand very well, not as well as the great watch creators, but I understand quite well the way it is designed with the snail, with the hammer kit and so forth. But I told them, this is what we need, this is what we want, this is the price we want it, and that's something that Swiss conceptors are not used to hear. They say this is from a client. They say this is what we want. And they will say, this is how much it will cost. And therefore, the brand will say, okay, this is how much I will sell it. And we'll say, this is what we want. It has to work, by the way, because we know retrograde is sensitive on the anti-clockwise. So we want to have a more solid movement. And it has to be at that price. That was a challenge. That was challenging. Some conceptor told me, very nice project, but sorry, at that price, we don't know how to make it. And then I met a few that told me.
So you had a price in mind?
Yeah, day one.
Okay.
The reason behind is that, I did buy quite a lot of watches. I stopped that, to be honest, now, so I don't need to buy watches.
It's difficult to stop that kind of, I would call it as addiction.
Exactly. My wife is happy with that, by the way, so I'm not buying watches. I'm sure. She's not happy with some of the stuff because I probably worked harder than I was a banker, and banking was actually quite hardworking. But apart from that,
it's more boring.
It's nothing to do in comparison, of course. So no, really, it's about seeing all these watches that you dream and that becoming more and more expensive, especially with complication. I love fastback, I love tourbillon, I love minute repeater. I love this complication. Minute repeater from a few brands I know. They are spectacular. It's almost like automat, and the sound of the art of acoustic is fabulous. But it's 50K, 100K. My favorite watch on the market is 400K. So to me, 400K is no something. I mean, sorry, just my view. It's a personal, but I understand people buying expensive watches, of course. But for me, a watch should be, I don't know, within a reasonable price range. So we said we want our watches to be around the 4,000 price point, below the 4,000 price point. So that was very difficult to make because they are not used to think like that. But then as soon as they could see that there was some volume potential, because at 4,000 you sell more watches at 400,000, of course. Therefore, we found some people who are very smart, and they've been smart, and they joined the equity of the company. So now it's not just a supplier; it's really a close partner. And we are working extremely closely together.
Fantastic. And boy, you guys have been taking the scene. We're talking about you've been around for 5-7 years, and you've been nominated multiple times at the Grand Prix d'Horlogerie de Genève, the Oscars of watchmaking. Yeah. So quickly, kind of a breakthrough. Can you tell us about that experience? What it's been like to break through so quickly, to get that kind of recognition. Tell us about that.
I can't hide that it's a great reward to be nominated, because you work hard with your vision, with your passion, with your team, and you say this is what we want to do, but you don't do that for the award or for the recognition. You just do it because you want to do it. And so when you are recognized, like 4 times of pre-selection in GPHG in a row, that was quite even surprising for us. We were new on the market, and we got this 4 times, so we are, oh wow. And we got we've been able to join the Only Watch last year. We had a Red Dot Award, which is another prestigious from design standpoint.
Out of Germany, right? Red Dot.
Yeah, it's a German one, but it's really international.
Very international.
It has a lot of. It has some. They are really addicted with design, and you have a Bauhaus kind of dimension as well. But they apparently they love the canister, and we got the award, so we are very, very super happy. So for us, it's we are very seriously very humble. We do that because it's our passion. We are not doing here. We do the best ones on the market and so on. No. So when we receive a recognition, it's a great one of the best reward you can get, because it means that your vision has some echo somewhere in the market. So that's great, and from professionals. So that's super.
Kevin, you have a next question?
Well, I think what we kind of wanted to talk about was we're seeing so many there's a multitude of French brands that are coming out, and I know that you guys are designed in France but made in Switzerland. And can you talk to us a little bit about, with all these new brands coming from France, like what do you think is this? What would be your view in terms of the state of watchmaking in France? Do you see it's something that's growing? Do you see a lot of potential coming? Is there more to come? I just want to see what your view is on that.
Well, I know many of these French brands because we are more friends than competitors, to be honest. And we have some,
You're doing different things, right?
Yeah, we are on different price points, different design, and they are all lovely people. So we like to we meet at fairs, we meet at events. We like to go for a drink or for dinner. So there is a friendly competition. I don't really understand why there are so many French brands coming up. I mean, I've seen an article recently. I've seen more than 50 brands coming from France. It's quite amazing. Probably there is, it's probably the same syndrome as what I experienced personally. When I started, there was not that many brands coming from France. There was already some brands coming, on Kickstarter with very original design or, a concept being so true out of the box. But I think there is something like when I started, I said, okay, Francois, you are almost 50. You're going to start a watch brand with an international vision, luxury product, with a very fierce competition that makes no present to the others. Are you serious? And then I said, well, is this possible? So we've seen that on the watchmaking standpoint, it was possible. On the fundraising, it was possible because people followed me. I have more than 140 investors today supporting the company. But then I saw a few brands like Bell & Ross, which I already enjoy because Bell & Ross, I boast a lot of Bell & Ross because Bell & Ross, they are inspired by cockpits. So their product looks to me in a very intimate way. So then when they have a new piece coming, this one I like, I will buy it. And then I realized that they started from scratch, actually. They started in 93, 94. And then I realized that starting from scratch, you can become, an international, recognized, successful, profitable brand. So if they made it, they are stronger than me, but it means it's possible. It's not just because you come from the 19th century that you can succeed. You can look at Seven Friday on their slot, their positioning, their design. They made it. So and
very unique, And they're out of Singapore, right?
Yeah, exactly. They're based in Zurich, and they are very strong in Asia. And actually, I saw them last week in London. They are very consistent with their design. They have a vision as well. They roll it out in a very consistent way. They are very innovative. And they just follow their line. And so I saw, wow, this guy made it. Bell & Ross made it. Richard Mille on a completely different story made it. So it doesn't mean I will make it, but it means it is possible. And therefore, if I have something I believe in strongly, then let's do it.
Well, if it's any point, if there's any way to break through and say that you've made it, I don't know what's left to do to say that you have, Francois.
Well, no, it's a long journey. So, we are growing, and every year, every step of growth brings new challenges. So you need to rethink your operations. You need to plan your funding in a different way. You need to manage your HR, growth as well. You need to hire staff, or you need to. So it comes with a lot of challenges. So actually, I believe I'm still far from the cruise speed kind of mode where you can have the CEO going on the beach and on the golf course or both, because the day is long. No, I think we are still far from that. But again, we love what we do, so it doesn't matter. And coming back to your question about the French brand, I think it's the same idea. So if you have, a young brand like Trilob, for instance, Trilob is, I don't know whether you know them. It's a very interesting brand. They are very nice people. We met them at Basel. They were, when we went for our first Basel, they met with us. They were just saying, well, we are just starting. So what you are doing seems possible. And I told them, why, just do it. Your product is great. Just go for it.
And they were nominated as well at the GPHG with,
And they got the prize. We haven't got the prize yet. So we'll go back next year, of course, because we are quite
exactly. There's always next year.
But they got the award, and so they are again. They have their vision. They are not making any compromise on quality, on caliber, on finishing. And so I think you have two brands like that, and then it emulates. Probably other people say it's possible. So let me try my chance. And March Lab is doing well, So why we have so many in France? frankly speaking, I don't know. Really, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there is some kind of concentration. I don't have any explanation. There is no
really good ones.
Office saying let's blow the market with French brands. I think it's really isolated initiative here and there.
Well, we were at Wind Up across the street from when we were at Watch Time. A lot of French brands there. I thought that, and there were some that were new, and then there were some that were, I find that you were saying from the ground up, but there were some zombie brands, right? There were brands that kind of shut down and then they were bought out by new owners, and then they want to bring a new kind of a mindset, but still leverage that, maybe that older name as well. So I think there's a lot of that we're seeing not only in France, but around the world. These, they call them zombie brands there, but I think it's,
right. No, like, Nivada is a good example. Nivada Green.
Yeah.
It's a good brand. I know the two guys,
Guillaume
and Remy, they are lovely chaps, and the brand has a very strong story. It went almost dead, it almost died. So they saw that they took the rights, and they
with Excelsior Park as well, right?
Yeah. So why not? It's a good call. I mean, and they are doing a great job. They are making
great job.
Collabs, good design. They are very bright, very nice. We had some lunch in Paris together. They are lovely. So you can go revival, you can go new concept, you can go. I think what is key in all these experiences, and most French brands, not all of them, but quite a lot of them have that, is to have something distinctive, because it's very hard to exist if you go for Me Too or boring product. It's so hard.
Breaking out.
It's so hard. You need to have either you go the price, so you have a copy of a well-known model with a low price, or you go with a very unique concept. But I think there is no place for middle ground here.
Quick question before we continue on, while we're touching on the expansion globally. Do you have any plans coming to Canada? Or dealing with retailers here perhaps is not easy, or just what's your vision?
I've been to, firstly, my youngest daughter is studying in Montreal, in McGill, so any pretext I can find to visit her is welcome. So that's
a lot of good reasons to come to Montreal.
Exactly. The second point is I love Canada. It's a great country. I mean, great people, very friendly. I worked for HSBC, so I've been to Vancouver many times. I really love the country. I've been skiing in Whistler from Hong Kong. So it's a country I really love. It's people are so friendly there. We have an agent for North America. We have opened doors in the US. We are in discussion with several doors, quite a significant number of them, and we have some very good discussions. So we have already one point of sales in Toronto, and we have a lot of discussion with big names. I won't share details here, but it's really ongoing. And Canada for us is on our list. Clearly, we know it has its specificities versus the US market. It's likely India. There are some significant differences and some commonalities as well. And so clearly it's on our list. And North America is for us a priority market. But again, you don't want to rush time. You have to meet people, introduce the brand, and then you meet again at Geneva. And then one day say, okay, let's start. Let's do. Let's grow the brand together.
Fantastic. So November 10th, we saw the release of the Sonomaster Black Thunder, the one you're wearing on your right wrist, the rock and roll, the left wrist, the rock and roll. There you go. Beautiful. And by the time this airs, yesterday, you will have released something you wanted to kind of maybe you want to give a quick glance, but you want to talk about maybe?
Yes. Okay. So let me just share with you. So Reservoir is, as we explained, measuring instrument using these three complication or this retrograde chronograph. We've done so since we launched. So we've done German sports car from the 80s, French car from the 30s, the Mini Cooper era, in the 60s. We just launched the Speedster 356 last year, which is amazing success in terms of both in terms of recognition, but also in terms of sales. It's a very well received product and collection. And we developed last year something that another passion I have. I like to mix passions, and I am quite a fan of comics, particularly of comics with some actions. So of course I've read Tintin like most of us. But in Europe and in Belgium and France, we have a very famous pair of characters called Blake and Mortimer. They are a bit like Tintin, same kind of drawing, but a little bit more adult. So they fight, they go in jet fighters, they go in submarines, they fight the villain, they go to explore the pyramids. So fascinating heroes, really. So, but they are not known outside of the world. So, but still, for France and Belgium, we made one collection of watches using this retrograde and this jumping hour. Why? Because the retrograde minute is a great way to animate a comic character. That's why I love so much the Gerald Genta Fantasy collection. They are brilliant. They are super smart, and I love the relaxed aspect of it as well. So some brands tend to be very serious. We are not serious. Well, we are serious in what we do, but we are very relaxed with what we want to develop. And I said, Black and Mortimer, they are other kind of heroes. I was telling about Chuck Yeager. Black and Mortimer, they are for me other heroes that are really that really inspired me in their adventures. So we've done this watch, this Black and Mortimer, which is the two characters, and again the arm is on the hand, and it will retrograde. So it's a very very lively, and again we are doing great with this watch. And then I saw that here and there, in fairs in New York, in Geneva, of course, in Mexico, in London last weekend, and so forth. And most people, they don't know. Some people still buy. In Japan, they buy a comic watch, although they don't know the characters because they love comic watch. So then I say, okay, maybe we should make a watch with another character, more international flavored. And so I look around, and we said we want some, character being bold, being a bit like us, determined, not taking things too seriously, in terms of being cool and so forth, but also still being engaged in life. And we came with this new limited edition, which is the Popeye.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's a DLC case as well. Wow,
exactly.
That's beautiful.
That's a titanium.
Titanium.
This is a proto. We still don't have there's a little engraved, a little painted Popeye on the back. It's a titanium DLC with a French-made strap with it's called like a small bull kind of skin, ethical farm, of course, and very cool watch. So you see the Popeye almost leaving when sorry about the light, but
it's great.
So that's a limited edition.
And I see his arm is used as a minute hand, right? Or
exactly.
An hour hand. Yeah.
Sorry
Perfect.
about the light.
Perfect. Yeah.
You can see the arm is playing. So if the arm is like that, it's running. If not, it's just slowing down. But again, every hour you change of position, so it's very animation. So it's very cool. So this is a limited edition. We are announcing 200 pieces. We've done it with Label Noir in Geneva, one of the studio designers makes collabs. Lovely guys as well. It was a great collab. We have just produced 100 to start because we are short of components like many brands. So we are releasing these hundreds. From the numbers I've seen this morning, it's going like hotcakes. And this is a new comic watch. So now what we have is these two calibers, retrograde minute jumping out, power reserve, or without power reserve, with the Popeye, for instance. Then we have the chronograph. And in terms of universe, we have, as you mentioned, Kevin, automotive. We have the planes, the plane and space and sky. And then we have the marine with the diving, the submarines. And now we have the comic. The sound is a new category as well. So we will live now with these 5 worlds. So the sound we are not making to develop, 20 collection on sounds because amplifiers is a bit more limited. But comics, another unlimited theme. So we are already discussing with publishing companies in the US, in Japan. We have a very, very funny project in Japan, or with some other wacko world. But that will be our bit of delirium, if you like, comic watch or fun watch, or like a little bit of crazy breathing of doing something a bit different. And in parallel, we'll continue to develop cars and planes and submarines and rockets and etc. And again, you will see that in Geneva if we meet next year, guys.
Absolutely. That is very exciting, Francois. Very exciting. So we're running out of time here. We just want to know, is there anything you wanted to share with our listeners? Anything you want to share about the brand? Anything exciting? Anything you want to plug at this point?
Well, no, I just would like to thank you. I was I was very pleased to meet you guys in Watch Time. It was very a very nice moment. I like your very open way to discuss, and it's really what we enjoy here. Again, we love Canada. I'm serious. I tried in my career. I tried to be expat there, and it didn't work. But it was closed, so I was very excited. So no, I love Canada, and I think what we are doing is just watches for passionate people. What we like is people who share our passion. So when I drive, I'm on the racetrack with a high-speed car. I like the adrenaline, and I like to have a watch that gives me that impression. That's why we will launch carbon fiber dial, for instance, next year, or we have carbon case. So really, it's about passionate, nice. And what we love is to meet passionate people. That's why we do so many fairs. We'll do a big fair in Paris. You have 140,000 people coming to view the nicest classic car on earth. We have a booth there. We meet our clients, our prospects, journalists, friends, and we're just passionate. We drink a cup of champagne eventually, and I'm listening to what they like, and I'm surprised people sometimes. I know some Porsche addicts that will buy a jet fighter plane because when they were a kid they were dreaming about this super fast plane. So it is just about passion, of course, with the right execution. We want to have a product that look very nice. All the details are so important. Of course the fiability of the module is key for us. So of course the product is essential, the core, but then the design is a bit of our folly, about what triggers us. So no, I was glad to meet you guys, and I think we should really keep in touch.
Absolutely.
Watch Time will be back next year, that's for sure, because it was a great event. I really hope you come to Geneva, and otherwise we meet in Canada for sure. For a bit.
Absolutely.
Sounds great.
Thank you very much for your time, Francois. Wishing you all the best, and we will be in touch soon.
Thank you, Francois.
Thank you so much. This is Omiter.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
So if you enjoyed this episode, please reach out to us on Big Black Clock Official on Instagram, or email us at bigblackclockteam@gmail.com. Send us your pictures, corrections, ideas, insults, and let us know if there are any pieces you want us to review, with of course the caveat that we can afford them. As always, be good to each other, eat good food, have some drinks. For those of you always watch shopping, happy hunting. Thanks for spending time with us, and we will see you next week.